But if we can have classes, once we figure this out, we will have classes tomorrow.
Did this come really as a surprise to you then? You said these are old pipes.
Of course it comes as a surprise. I don't wake up and expect that this is going to happen, you know, when it does, but we got to be able to respond for crisis. But you know, we're also in the middle of a new building campaign to build a new Durfee High School. This building, quite frankly, is the worst designed high school in America. I've done this work, been the Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth. I can say quite clearly that this is the worst designed high school. We need a new high school. And this is evident today in looking at not only what caused this to happen, but then to see the conditions of what our classrooms look like in general, even without the leak. This is a building that doesn't befit a city with a stature and a tradition and a history such as Fall River that our kids deserve. We need a new high school.
I said weather wasn't an issue for this, but it's been kind of a long week for the district in general. You had to close an elementary on Monday.
You know, winters are tough. Winters are tough specifically in cities where housing is more dense, as you know, so it's always tougher with the snow and with the removal of snow. Our city responded to 15 inches on Wednesday. We had to close Thursday. I didn't want to close Friday, but it wasn't safe. I did a delay on Monday. People say, well, why would you do that? 2 days of sub-zero temperatures. We need to give it some time. We need to get the roads a little more time so that people can get to work and I can get my kids to school safely, knowing that cars weren't going to start, people hadn't shoveled. We had a good, successful day, I think, on Monday with that late start. Tuesday, we're at about 93% student attendance, which says, you know, we're moving in the right direction with this little warm-up. Today's frustrating that we're closed today, but it was the right decision to make. But I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to have school here tomorrow.
So have you ruled out that weather aggravated the old pipes, or?
So this is an internal in the building in a heated space. Cold weather was not the cause of this failure.
We saw some of the video just of the water pouring out of the school. I'm just wondering, as the superintendent, you were here, you saw some of the water in there, just what you thought of all that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was here just as I got here this morning at about 5:30, so we'd already had an hour of flooding, or 2.5 hours of flooding, and about an hour of cleanup. And my shoes, you can see that my socks are soaked through. I obviously didn't come prepared. I didn't wear my boots, and I should have. But we've had about 4 or 5 inches. I want you to imagine in your home, if you've had 4 or 5 inches in your living room, and everything that you value in your life is now wet and damaged. That's what my classrooms look like right now. Our teachers are heartbroken. Our kids, you know, are going to be hurt because of this. So it won't be an easy recovery, but we will recover.
I was going to ask, you mentioned, obviously it's sad, the items that were lost, they directly impact education.
Right, everything that when you have a crisis such as this is all the tools and equipment that we use to educate kids. So luckily we have insurance and we're going to go through that process. But this is a loss, and education will suffer. We're not going to candy coat that, but we're going to get by. I got great people, and we're going to do what we do best: educate kids.
Well, you probably said it, I might have missed it. Was that the science section of the building?
It's the science wing of Durfee. This building, in its design, as I said, it's the 4th and 3rd floors, but there are no 1st or 2nd floors underneath that. But we do have flooding across 4 floors because of the spread in other parts of the building. So we shut that down. We got the crews in there now, cleaning and drying, and then we'll be doing air quality assessments, of course, looking at making sure our systems are operating, and then we'll make decisions about what we do moving forward. I will say, though, that the rest of the building is fine. We have district operations functioning right now. Our food service is functioning, our parent information center, our special education offices, our arts and career tech ed areas are all fine as well. The gym area, everything else is fine. This was segregated to one part of the building. We got about 15 to 18 classrooms that are affected, and about 6 office areas that are affected as well.
How many students go to Durfee?
We got about 2,200 students at Durfee High School.
Are you going to check pipes in the rest of the building, and other areas?
We perform routine maintenance constantly, and our custodians come in early. They work on weekends. We ensure when we have these cold spells that we're preparing for these things. But again, this was a situation where I have an old pipe that had just worn out, and it had enough. This pipe gave up. Unfortunately, it cost us 50,000 gallons of water as a result. But this pipe was a catastrophic failure based on the age of the pipe.
I'm just wondering if you had cost.
Not yet. I'm not prepared to speak money, but but I will say again, we're covered in insurance. We're going through that process, but this is going to be a costly affair. All in cleanup, getting repurchasing stuff we need all the time. This is going to be expensive cost, unexpected of course, and we're probably going to have to work with the school committee and the city to figure out how do we fund that.
You said teachers did come today.
So teachers aren't expected to be here, but there are many teachers here today, and other employees as well. The 12-month employees, of course, are working, but because when you cancel school, you have to make up that day. You cancel for the people that work here. But these folks are here because they wanted to be here to get their rooms set up, and we appreciate that, and we're grateful and thankful to them for that.
How many teachers were here?
Tough question. I want to say about 200.
Do you expect that, again, you talked
Overall, I probably have about 400 overall employees in this building.
do you expect, though, that this may end up extending or cutting into your snow days or extending
Yeah,
the
so
year?
right now, as I said earlier, we're at 4 days into the 5 that we built in as a buffer. So we'll have to, depending on what the winter holds for the next few months, we'll have to make some decisions. But we've dealt with this in the past, and we'll deal with it moving forward about how we make that time up. It's really clear, and I know many of you are from Rhode Island, but in Massachusetts the law is it's 180 school day, and the state Department of Education holds us to that 180 days. So it's not about making up hours; it's actual days. That's the law and the reg on that.
Will they hold you to the days? Does that mean there's no possibility of requesting, say, a waiver should this become extended for anyone?
We request waivers. Waivers are usually denied because we have that buffer. But if this gets beyond a certain, and of course I will ask for a waiver on that because of the nature of this. But I don't anticipate that would be granted, and I'm okay with that. That's what we do.
What's going on over there?
So Tansey this morning, we've had a smell of gas outside the building, an abundance of caution. I said, let's go to our secondary evacuation point. And so we brought the kids over to the Durfee auditorium, and they'll dismiss from there.
Okay, did the parents know?
Parents have been communicated. They know to come pick their kids up here.
They do. Everybody, was it a one call?
Yeah, they did a connect. They called all the parents at Tansey.
Okay. So, in your estimation, how is your department done? It's handling both of these.
I mean, we've handled 2 major crises in 2.5 hours. I can tell you that I'm more than impressed. I'm blessed. I'm lucky that I got the team I have here. And you can see, if you go around right now, you'll see police, fire, EMS, city, elected officials, appointed officials, and then all our employees working together. You don't see that many places. It's not about territory or turf. It's about teamwork.
Are you disappointed with the city council objection from Steve Camara and the others about this?
I'm focused on this city. I want to make this the best city in America, and to do that, we need a new Durfee High School.
And you're pushing for the election?
I'm pushing for a new Durfee High School, and I'm not going to stop.
And how about the school committee?
School committee's pushing for a new Durfee High School. I mean, I think anyone that's ever been and seen this facility goes, this is the worst high school design in the history of high school designs. We do amazing work here, and our kids go on to high achieving schools. But this building is just awful, and we need a new Durfee, and this city deserves that.
And so you're saying that the pipes here constitute a new Durfee?
It's one of the reasons, but there's a million different reasons. I mean, you can just look at that building. I don't know what that is on the walls. The material's falling down. This place is falling apart, and it was designed poorly. There was no oversight, and we have an opportunity with the MSBA right now for a fully transparent, project-managed process to build a brand new state-of-the-art high school that's going to last for the next 80 years. This building was built 40 years ago. The stuff we built in the 70s doesn't last 40 years. I built a Watson School in 1913. It's still there, and it's beautiful. So what did we screw up in the 70s? I'm a child of the 70s, and I can tell you it was a bad decade. We built bad buildings and we had bad music. That's not true. We had some good.
we had some good music. But what about mold? All this water with mold and carpets and
We've had air quality issues here there's always water leaks in this building. The roof's been leaking since they built it. It's just bad design and bad construction and bad oversight and bad management. And we've been working on a new Durfee now for a 4-year process. We got a great proposal on the table, and let's put it to the voters. Let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. Look, your parents and your grandparents and their grandparents built high schools that you attended. It's the cost of democracy is a free public education. If we can't pay that, let's not call ourselves Americans.